if you're looking to get the Fujifilm 150-600mm lens and want to know how it handles and what it's like, look no further. I've tested it for 2 weeks here in the Kruger National Park in Africa, where you definitely should have a lens like that. We are traveling in Africa for 6 months and I really wanted to get a lens with good reach, and that definitely qualifies as a lens with good reach. It's a 225-900mm equivalent on a full frame. It's f5.628, so it's not the fastest lens in the world, meaning you have to use higher ISOs at dusk and dawn when you are doing your photography to get the correct shutter speeds. When you have a long zoom lens like that, there is a rule of thumb that says double the shutter speed compared to the focal range. But let's first talk a little bit about how this lens handles. I think it's a little bit bulky, especially with the lens hood, but it's also fairly light, weighing only 1.6 kg. So when I held it in my arms for the very first time, I thought it would weigh a ton, but it's very light. On that note, it also feels a little bit plasticky. I guess that's how it is. When I'm using it, I sit in the driver's seat and it's a little bit bulky or cumbersome to move around. It's not as flexible, but that's what you get when you have a long zoom lens like that. Okay, we have an elephant over here. Let's see. They have blinds scattered around in Kruger Park where you can sit down and watch for birds or whatever wildlife that comes by. Like this, it is pretty good, especially with the Cobra monopod from iFootage. It's very easy to maneuver and play around with. So now I'm just going to wait here and see if something comes along. It's still early in the morning, so maybe we are lucky. I'll get back to the monopod later in the video, but that's something that will help you handle such a lens. It has internal zoom, so it doesn't extend when you zoom in or out. That's a good thing. As a rule of thumb, like I said, you should have double the shutter speed compared to the focal range. And with good image stabilization that most cameras and lenses have these days, I guess you can get away with slower shutter speeds. It lives on my X-T5, and with the X-T5 it focuses super fast. It finds the focus and it sticks on the focus when I'm shooting in continuous autofocus, and that is really good. So I shoot with fairly high ISOs of 32 and sometimes even 6400. I don't mind a little bit of noise in my images. This is, after all, an APS-C sensor, so it's not as good as a full-frame camera, but Lightroom has this amazing denoise feature these days. I think that's one of the best features that Lightroom has upgraded their program with. Take a look at this image before I denoise it, and here's after, so you can judge for yourself. I think it's brilliant. So I'd say that is plenty good for enthusiasts. Now, pro wildlife photographers might cringe at me saying this, but I think this is perfect for me. So the range is also awesome, 100 to 600mm. That is ridiculous. You can get really close. This image is shot at 150mm and this is shot at 600, so you can really see how close you can get. That's all I have for photography. Here are some more photos I've taken with this lens. That has been 2 weeks of quite heavy everyday use here in the park. We go on game drives in the morning for 2 hours and we go on game drives in the afternoon for 2 hours. If you want to check out how we do our self-drive safari, you can check out this video. This is where the lens really shines, in my opinion. I do shoot a lot of stock video as a passive source of income. Part of the reason why I got this super long lens is because I wanted to have better close-up footage of wild animals for my portfolio. That was somehow lacking there, and it is great. I use my second camera body when I film with this lens. It's the Fujifilm X-H2S. You can find the links to everything I use down in the description if you want to check that out. With all the stabilization on in the lens and the camera body, you get some awesome looking smooth footage. I'm super impressed, especially when I zoom in all the way to 150-600mm and I track something, it's really, really impressive. The footage looks just amazing, and I've got some impressive shots, I must say, that will certainly add a lot of value to my wildlife stock video portfolio and these videos as well. The reach and lightness of the lens, despite it being very big and bulky, is definitely a pro. It's also very affordable considering you get all that focal range compared to other lenses. On the con side, I would say that it feels a little bit plasticky and cheap, and the lens hood is very big, but I suppose it just have to be like that. I haven't used these long lenses before, so maybe that's just me getting used to the lens. Accessories I'd get with this lens is definitely a monopod. When you are sitting in that blind and you want to hold your camera and get stable shots, or maybe you want to track and film something, a monopod will certainly help you out. Mine is from iFootage. I absolutely love that monopod for so many reasons, this being one of them. It comes with a mini tripod as well. This is not a sponsored video, I just love this product. It's so useful. Definitely get that with this lens. You can thank me later. It's one of my favorite photography accessories ever, period. To conclude this video, have in mind that this is only a 2 weeks first impressions video. I'll probably make another video when I have a better feel of it and when I've used it more. Definitely subscribe if you want to see that. I'm very impressed and I think you get a lot of value from it. And now that I'm getting used to the big size of it, I am really looking forward to using it some more. And if you like this video, you might want to check out this series after. That's when I drove around in Botswana looking for lions in a very questionable secondhand car imported from Japan. It's a good watch right there. Got some amazing lion footage and photos there as well if you are into photography and Africa. And with that, I shall say bye bye, and I hope to see you in the next video.